Well, here we are. It's November 1st, 2020, 48 hours to the election. No, we all can't wait for it to be over, but it's pretty exciting. 4 years ago, I stood at St. Clair's Church and I told you the history of the 23rd Ward and its voting patterns and how it had played a part in elections. Today, I'm at a different location. I'm at what I perceive to be the most politically connected street corner in the United States. I'm at the corner of North Washington Avenue and Delaware Street. Now you say to yourself, what's so important about this corner? Let me tell you. On one side, we have Virginia Dougherty McGregor, the queen, the youngest of the Dougherty family, very active in politics. 4 years ago, she still is to this day, but 4 years ago, she ran Hillary's campaign locally, advised her. She was with Hillary the night before the election in Philadelphia. She was with her on that fateful night when she lost in New York City. She actually did give my video to Hillary. It didn't work out for me either. But anyway, Virginia had planned to spend inauguration at the White House, but it just didn't work out. On the other corner, we have Dr. Albert Hazuri. Now you say, Dr. Albert Hazuri. Well, a strange thing happened. 12 years ago, Albert and his wife Lauren, with their young daughter Ava, decided to spend Christmas and New Year's at Mar-a-Lago in South Florida. Now, this is not some family-friendly resort. This is Donald Trump's golf course with a really fancy place. There's not kids there. It turned out, but this particular week, not only was Ava there, but Trump's young son, Barron, was there. They were the only children. The two of them became best of friends, and like all situations, the parents then get closer. And Albert and the Donald hit it off immediately. Neither one of them drink. They love to play golf. They're both very liberal with the golf rules. And they're very full of themselves. So they hit it off immediately. They have played golf. Albert has been his member guest partner on numerous occasions. Unlike Virginia, Albert has been in the White House on numerous occasions. He's been on the helicopters. You need to get into the White House. You talk to Albert Hazuri. So here we are, 2020, and the election is ready to go with these two people having the opportunity to get back into the White House for one, the other to get themselves in the White House. So what's the election like in 2020? Well, actually, it's not a national election. It's 50 separate elections and the District of Columbia. And in fact, it really, for our sake, is not even that. It's about 7 states that are going to determine who sits in the White House. And it just so happens this Pennsylvania is right square in the middle, as it was 4 years ago. And they've been in and out of here and continue to be right up until Election Day. This place is absolutely the place to be. But in reality, I think, and 4 years ago on election night, while I was at the Casey Inn, I was with some political operatives, and I was sitting there when Florida went for Trump, and I said, stick a fork in, he's done, that Trump was going to win the election. And he did. Because that one was very pivotal in that particular election. It is pivotal again, but this time, absolutely, Trump has to win Florida. You can watch this on election night, and it will tell you very early. Trump wins Florida, he's in the race. He loses Florida, Joe Biden will be the president of the United States. And then a little bit later that night, but you're going to get the vote count out of those. I believe you're going to know that night. And then a little bit later in the evening, not much, North Carolina closes the polls. Again, Trump absolutely has to win North Carolina. If he wins it, we're going to be in for one hell of a night. If he loses it, I think he loses the election. And then we come up to the Northeast, Pennsylvania in particular. There is no way we will know who won the state of Pennsylvania election night. Forget about it. Not a chance. But in terms of the race, I think of this a little bit like a horse race. I like to do videos on the Kentucky Derby. My winners are not always, my picks are not always the winners, but I like to do them. But I think of this election somewhat like the famous match race. It was actually on this date, November 1st, 1938 in Baltimore, Maryland. It pitted Seabiscuit against the War Admiral, which was the best horse. This time, I think of the candidates in Joe Biden as War Admiral, establishment candidate, loads of dough, absolute favorite. It looks like he can't lose, especially when COVID hit. You would think that the race was over. It was his for the taking. But if you think of Seabiscuit, he couldn't even get the horse race, so he had to challenge War Admiral all the way. So he got his horse and he put him on the train, and they stopped at towns along the way. This was 1938. It was the Depression. And every town they stopped at, they had publicity in advance. The people came out of the woodwork to see this horse. Everywhere and everywhere. And finally, as they're coming east, this guy said, there's such support for this guy, I've got to have a race for him. And I think a little bit of that is like Donald Trump. Love him or hate him, he's a showman who happens to be the president of the United States. And everywhere he goes, the people come out of nowhere to spot this guy, to see this guy. So you say it doesn't make that much difference. I don't know. That means he's got a lot of enthusiasm. We also know that this will be from a percentage standpoint, the most the most votes cast percentage-wise in over a century. So it really, really is a spectacular election. And you say, who wins? Well, I say photo finish. You have to watch the movie.